Tim.
Mr. Matt Arndt in Wasilla.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. Lori Ahi, Nate Bear, the Les
He
Bailey
should be
team.
here about 11:30.
Yeah.
You should have seen him.
You must have
walking
sent
out
to
with
on the phone.
boxes.
She will be here shortly.
11:30.
On the phone, yes.
Robert Bassett, Joe Bell,
Joe Bell, who is in Sacramento, babysitting,
Craig
working out
Bennett.
of this hotel.
Eagle River showing up.
Yeah,
Mr.
Craig.
Bob Bickle, Annie and Jared, Bjorka Strand, Mike Basso,
Oh, Mike is one of Kristen Cole's new buyer's agents. I think that was his first.
I believe so.
Yes,
Absolutely.
awesome.
Ms. Marcy Bouchard, Mr. David Bowman, Kristen Cole, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Just a couple.
Just once a day.
That's in a week.
One day. Here's a goal for you.
Yeah. That's a nice goal.
Erica Coles,
Yay.
Ivan Corbin,
Yay.
Brandy Kroom,
Great.
Kevin Cross.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff. Did you go too long?
There's a little speed on that. I'm sorry.
A little slow today.
No,
It's
no,
busy.
that happened.
All right, Jeff Davis.
There he is.
Get it?
Oh, Jeff,
I
you're
love
usually my
Davis.
guy. Like,
I
you're
know,
always the
usually
winning
comes
and the
in
grab
here.
man. I know.
Ron Day. Brent Dewan.
Yeah.
It's up.
And you're gonna
Danger.
pitch a no-hitter.
I know. That's my goal. I'm all
All
about
right.
goals.
Matt Dimmick. Barb Dotterwich. Kara Dreyer times 2.
That was awesome.
Mark Frenzel. We've got Liz Hokenadel.
Hockendale.
Hokenadel.
Hockendale.
Okay.
Liz.
Hokkaido.
Hockendale. She's my favorite grammar. I still screw it up.
Liz,
PJ Hornick.
it's up.
Let's see, Vicki Hudson times 2, Patrick James times 2, Rob King, Michael King, July Leslie, Kylie Lucas, Ryan May Lucas, Amy Becky Hornack.
Oh,
She gave me that look. Like, please don't hurt me.
So glad he could join us, Larry Malden.
Anytime.
And
fresh
she's
out
out.
of the box.
Holy moly, Reed Moore a whole bunch of times. Corinne Muir, Holly Meyer, Diet Owen, Brandy Pennington, Kathleen Houlihan, Chris Rakoff, Eric Rittner,
Yay.
Janelle Roberts, John Rodriguez, Michael Schwartz, Stuart Smith, a whole bunch of
Who's
times.
in the Philippines?
Yeah.
And Ron's about to pull his hair out.
I know,
Yeah.
he's a very busy boy. Jesse Tanner, Christy Tanner, Ryan Tollefson, a whole bunch of times. Jeremy Tompkins, Jason Trout, Kristen Van Wee, Dar Walden, Dan Wolf, and Ms. Kylie Wise.
Yay, good job. That's awesome.
Awesome.
So I'm going to go ahead and read through these, even though we've got kind of a low turnout. We have people all over the place, all over the country. Matt and Reed and Michael King, I believe, is with him down at Coaches Skills Camp in Austin this week. And Diet, like I said, is on a 3-week music ministry missions trip in the Philippines. She's been there for a week now. So I miss seeing her in church, standing up on stage singing. She's so good. And Michael Schwartz is on his way back from his vacation, and Matt Bex, I think they just got back from their vacation.
Yesterday.
Joe is in Sacramento. His apparently they couldn't get a babysitter for the daughter, and his wife had to be down there, so he's there working. We had our meeting yesterday via phone, so he's down in Sacramento working out of a hotel room this week. Gosh, we've just got people gone all over the place.
Stories of his drive up the Avenue.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I can only imagine. So, which, you know, the thing that I think about that comes to mind, just to take this, oh, wait, before I go there, Larry Malden is with us this morning, our broker in charge in the Valley. If you haven't met Larry, you should. He's only been in the business now for, I don't know, 45 years, 42, excuse me, I embellished, 42 years. There's pretty much not anything that he hasn't seen.
Not all good, not all bad.
No, exactly. So if you ever just want to delve into a treasure trove of, gosh, I've got this crazy situation going on, Larry is, you know, always available. He's going to shoot me for saying this, but just to pick his brain and maybe get some solutions that you haven't thought of before, because he's been there, done it multiple times. But what I was thinking about with people being gone is, y'all know that I've just been hammering on listings. I know this is nothing new to anybody that's been in our sales meetings, but that's the beauty of listings, is you can be away doing things that are either important for your mental health, resting, or for your family health, or for your business health, down taking a class or training or doing something and still be able to close deals. Michelle and I were just talking in the elevator about listings, and what were you saying about listings and how they, because you are working on your 5th one for this month, right?
Well,
Or 5th one
yes.
that you've got in the pipeline?
yeah, and just but just that there's such a fast turnaround, it seems like no-brainer, that's what it sounds like. So,
Yeah.
buyers, you get off of them.
Yeah, because they exhaust you. Not that buyers aren't great, and certainly get buyers, but listings just give you so much more control. Okay,
And
so,
I've been showing to a couple new buyers, and it seems like almost, like I would say probably 80% of the listings I show are Keller Williams.
yeah,
That's true.
It's kind of funny because my buyers are like, oh, this is one that you have listed.
this is one of yours, yeah, they always
Yeah,
think
it's
that.
all the
Oh, it's your listing. Well, sort
Yes, I
of.
did.
Yeah, I know, right? Don't even go into it. So, one of the things that I am super, super passionate about this year, in terms of goals for the Market Center, and also just personally driven to do, is to build your wealth through profit sharing. So we, my goal, my big, hairy goal is to profit share $300,000 this year. We are at 111 and some change so far. Year to date, we are 50% over where we were last year. Our best year ever was 159,000. So we are narrowing in on passing our best year ever soon. So what that means is money in your pocket. Some of you got texts from me this weekend as I was going through the reports and looking at what you guys all received. And what was really interesting is many of you didn't check the bank account. It's the weekend. You're not sitting online and paying bills and checking your bank accounts. And they, it pended because it went into direct deposit. So a lot of people didn't even know that it was there until they got my text. So I just want to run through and kind of give you an idea. Guys, we're now to the stage where profit share has been something that's a great concept for years, and it sounds really good, and it is a cool thing. It's getting very, very real now, like real. We used to joke about the fact that, well, I got $7 for my brokerage. So I think you'll be impressed when you hear some of these numbers. Patrick Jays, $8. Steve Day, $9. Brad Cole, $12. Joe Bell, $20. John Majors, who isn't even in real estate anymore, $23. DeEtte Owen, $28. Nancy Pearson, $40. Abigail Owens, $41. Thank you, Brent DeWan, wherever you went. Kylie Lucas, $56. Les Bailey, $60. Kristen Cole, $64. Rodney Clan, $66. Brandy Kroom, $80. Ron Day, $91. Justin McGee, $107. Liz Spikes joined us about 5 months ago, maybe?
5, 6 months.
$114. Fred Owen, $132. So you put his with DeEtte's and you've got over $200. That's a utility payment right there. That's over a summertime utility payment.
January, February.
Let me be clear. That's a summer gas bill, not a winter gas bill. Nani Palmer, $136. Diane Shearer in Eagle River, $139. Nate Bear, $139. Kira Dreyer, who joined us December of last year, January 1st, $147. Connie Clan, $172. So add that to Rodney's, and I believe they just went over $300 together. Amy Mackey Hornack, $184. Oh, here, you're here. I can give it to you. Sorry. Sean Donahue in Eagle River, $185. Caroline Storiano in Eagle River, $192. Felisa, $197.
I got it.
Yay! Congratulations!
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yay! I didn't realize that was your first one. I totally didn't even think about it.
No, this is my first one.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Vicki Hudson, $201. Cara Reed, $211. Amy Peltier, $232. Ed Erickson, $244. Mr. Denny Wood, $245. David Armstrong, this was his second ever, $252. Ed Walden, 258. Mark Mandigo, 264. Mr. Malden, 200. You get a payday and a certificate. We should have it more often. 270. I love this. Saber Garrity, 281. What a great bonus for an executive assistant. Isn't that awesome? Jeannie Erickson, 286. Jennifer Toomer, 296. I'll take that. That was mouth guard and cleats. Terry Lee, 296. Brian Tollefson, 302. Mr. Kevin Cross, 311.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a horrible recruiter. I have like 2 people in my downline. Like, I just never, profit share just never really clicked in. But apparently the people that I recruited know a little bit more about it than I do. That's super cool.
Or they know real estate.
They know. Brian Sherburne, 333. Michael Schwartz, 399. Lindsay Holland, 403. Charlie Sandberg, who's not even with us anymore, 413. Bob King, that's sign guy Bob, $415.
And he's not selling anymore either.
Nope, he's I think he's completely out. Does he have a referral, or is he referral status, or is he done completely? Did he renew his license?
I renewed or not. I think
Yeah.
he told me he was out, he's just focusing on
Yeah.
signs.
Melissa Frenzel, $521. She told me we are not telling her husband. I'm going to read this one because this is what about the opportunity is. Sarah Haltness, $526.
Oh, she's not even here.
Not even with us
She's on
anymore.
the road.
Yes. Dave Poulin, $575. Chad Crew, $579. And Brandy had 80, so they cleared $600 in their family's bank account. Charlie Ellis, $727. Dan Wolf, $741. Christy Wolf, Dan's wife, $780. It's $1,500 in their family. Carla Lucas, $873, and Kylie had what, a couple, $60 or something, so $900 plus.
She'll spend.
No, $900. That's like, I mean, I would take $900 if you handed it to me. Butch Jakes,
I take $5 if you
$880.
handed it to me.
Yeah, I take $1. My son was telling me, he was at somebody's house the other night, he's like, yeah, somebody dropped a $1 bill, man, I scooped that up. It was a 1, he's like, it's a 1. Butch Jakes, $886. Reed Moore, $1,006. Reed has cleared, I want to say he's just over $4,000 this year in profit share.
Wow.
That's a closing. That's another deal. Wait, and what you get is, what's your cap? What's a full cap?
21.
Okay, so his cap is really, right now, if he profit shared no more the rest of the year, a $17,000 cap. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So he's paid us, but we paid him back off his cap. Kathleen Poulin, $1,059, and Dave had $570 something, so that's $1,600 to their family. Beth Simpson, $1,125. Dar Walden, $1,270, and Ed had $200, so $1,400 to
All the big
Dar
stuff
Walden.
goes to the ladies. Have you noticed that?
That's because those husbands know what they're doing. Brianna Tollefson, $1,354. So added Ryan's $300, and they cleared $1,600 in profit sharing. So again, their cap, and they had about $1,300 last month total. So their cap is now below $20,000. This is one I love because he really started getting it last year. Jacob Sebring, by the way, lunch is on Jacob, $1,916. I mean, like honestly, how does that feel?
When you texted me this weekend, I actually thought you had fat finger syndrome. I legitimately thought that it was a typo.
Yeah.
It's a house payment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jacob lives in an efficiency condo, so that's 3 house payments.
Last month it was like 11-ish.
Yeah, you've made over $3,000 this year, so you're on
There's some jeans.
Nancy Dimick, $2,369. Now, just take your jaw and hold it up for a second. Matt Dimick, $5,154 profit share.
So between the two of them, almost $8,000.
He had no idea either. He texted me, he goes, I don't even understand how that's possible. Like, Dead serious, he was like, I don't get it. He has already gotten back, I believe, half of his cap year to date.
Who?
Matt. If you add him and Nancy together, they've retained over half of their cap. So you understand that you can work here for free.
He didn't know he got one while he was gone.
I'm
He stepped down right at that
investigate
point.
that. I have no idea who that was.
So I say this, and you guys know I don't like to take the team meetings and preach on profit share because everybody goes, oh my gosh, it's multi, whatever. Guys, we're talking some real money. I'm going to get us to 300,000. Do you understand that? I'm going to, period. Done and done. I would like for you guys to get your share of that. It's your opportunity. And I think there is a huge opportunity right now because RE/MAX Dynamic agents are making a move. They're all moving. Whether they want to or not, they're all moving. Everybody is moving to a new brokerage that works at Dynamic or works at RE/MAX because they're merging. So it's a great opportunity to say, hey, since you're moving anyway, would you be interested in a conversation with my team leader about what it would look like at Keller Williams? You should know your options. You're making a move. So if you have those relationships, guys, because I don't mean to sound crass, but I'm going after them regardless. I'm going to go do it. I would rather do it for you. Nothing gets me more fired up than sitting there on a Saturday and looking at that report and texting you guys. Because I love seeing the reactions when it's like, you've got to be joking. You've got to be joking. So, yeah, the opportunity's there. What you choose to do with it is up to you. Joe and I are going to recruit like it's, nobody's business, but I would rather build your profit share and have you be able to say, yeah, I know I can pay a $3,000 cap somewhere else, but guess what? I don't pay to work at my company. I don't pay a cap because I get it all back. Okay. Any comments or thoughts on that before I move on? Jacob? Jacob, I'll take that lunch later. Here's what's crazy though. Let me stop for a second. How many people do you have in your downline? Like 1 or 2?
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Yeah. It's not like it takes a cajillion. It doesn't take a ton of people.
I was gonna say what Cross said, but he got a check first, so it would just sound like,
He beat you?
yeah.
Yeah. It's not even something, here would be my challenge to you. Put it on your 411 that you all do religiously every week.
I invited someone to Bold last year.
Yep.
This is my first one. So.
Yep, exactly. How many of you guys took the shift class this week? Okay, hold on. Christina believes that Jeff, Allison was there for some of it. Okay, guys, I got a lot of text messages, a lot of calls. We ran that class on Thursday. We're competing with 71 degrees and 200,000 fish running and gorgeous sunshine. So we had a good turnout, but there was definitely a lot of people gone. And I had a lot of people say, gosh, I really want that information. So I'm going to kind of backtrack. This may be a little bit repetitive for some of you that were there, but I think it's worth it for everybody that wasn't, to kind of jump into shift a little bit and just touch on one of the topics and kind of work our way through it over the next several team meetings is where my thought is. So let me start by asking this question. Who has read the book Shift? Okay. Who has reread it in the last 3 months? Okay, what have been your ahas? Mary Jo.
Chapter 7, they are where they are. They are, buyers and sellers are not in reality with the shift. And it really, the day I wasn't able to make your class, but I had read it the night before just to kind of prepare. I went through and skimmed everything, and the perception when other realtors with a different mindset talk to listings, and when they have buyers and they're not there yet, that our
Either
competition
the realtor or the client.
are not there. So you have to stop, well, gee, my friend told me, my friend told me, my friend told me. So when you've got your listings, you have to sit them down and say, all right, let's look at all this again. So you're spending a lot of time
educating,
but they feel so much more confident about their choice in you by your knowledge of what's happening. And then the numbers that we pulled, that we show our TMOs every week and the MLS stats and just the overall feeling in the market, shift is right on for our flip in the market.
Yeah. So what about you?
The budget. Doesn't matter if we're in a decline shift or an increase shift.
you still have to stay focused on your budget. Just because you're making more doesn't necessarily mean spend more and not track it. You always have to keep a pulse on it.
Absolutely. So here's the word for the rest of the year. Complacency. I'm just going to keep saying it over and over. Here's what happens in the shifted market. You get complacent. You don't think you are because you're busy. Does that make sense? You're running around. I mean, how does it feel out there right now to you guys? You guys are in the market. You guys are all doing business. How does it feel?
Nuts.
Crazy.
There's crazy
Productive.
There's crazy stuff. Productive. I mean, you're writing offers, you're showing homes, you're listing homes, you're negotiating, you're busy. I would venture to guess that most of you in this room walk into the day with a full plate every day, pretty much.
And fighting with lenders to get things hurried up.
Okay, so
There's
right,
over
so-
120 or 193 in line or something.
Yeah, I met with Chris Stevens this morning. There's 200 deals in underwriting in line at residential to close at the end of this month. And they're way ahead of the game in terms of rapidity and getting things cranked out than Alaska USA or Wells Fargo. No slam on either of those two institutions. It's just the truth of the matter.
I've got one at Alaska USA, we've been waiting for 2.5 weeks. My buyers are like, when can we close?
Yeah, everybody's there. Yes, sir.
I was gonna say Alaska, I thought you-
Oh.
Yeah. I want you guys to enjoy it because it's not in the valley yet. Okay, shift hasn't happened
Well,
out there.
this was the whole conversation yesterday when I
Yeah,
taught in the valley.
So no, we're still fighting because of the amount of properties that we have on the market, competition, everything else. So, you guys in here, enjoy it, make the most of it, but just, it's here, it's not out there yet.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yes, sir, Kevin. What do you think?
Yeah, it could be a lot worse.
No, it's all right, go ahead, continue.
So Larry touches on an interesting point. Let's start with why does the shift occur? Why is it occurring?
Someone moved your cheese.
Someone moved the cheese, exactly. It's supply and demand. Our inventory is low. See, that's the challenge in the valley. Yesterday when I was teaching in the valley, we were talking about this. It is literally, any of you guys that show in the valley know you can pull up 20 properties to show your buyer. In Anchorage, you're lucky if you get 2 that are decent. So they have a mass amount of inventory. Why is that? Well, they have land and they have builders. So their inventory is constantly being added to because they've got a slew of builders that are cranking out homes. Plus you take your typical resale retail market. Plus you seem to have a little bit higher rate of foreclosures out in the valley. A little bit, for whatever reason. So here we are, we've got the shifted market. Here's the challenge. We delude ourselves into thinking we're running a really great business because we're order taking at a really high level. Because when people start buying, the buzz gets created, and that word we talk about all the time, momentum happens, and your phone starts ringing. Is anybody experiencing that where they're getting some deals that you're like, wow, they called me. Oh, that was a past client, they called me. Does that make sense? Is that happening to you? It's great, don't get me wrong, I don't want to knock it, but did you drive that business to yourself? Now, if they've been on your 33 touch, absolutely you did. So I would challenge you, one of the things that I would really get clear about doing is tracking, not just your appointments, but where are they coming from? And call it what it is. Is it a sign call? Is it an internet response from marketing that you've done? If it is, great, marketing's working for you. Is it a database referral? Is it somebody you go, my Lord, I haven't talked to them in 7 years. I'm so glad they called me. I can't believe they did. That's a freebie. So look at your leads and understand where they're coming from, okay? Did you lead generate for them or did they just show up? Lead generate or market. I mean, marketing is important too. We're prospecting based, marketing enhanced. So what I don't want us to do though is get complacent because who was around in this business when the market shifted back the other direction? What did it feel like for those of us that have been doing business in the hot market and then it turned?
Where'd they all go?
Yeah.
It hurt. It hurt. It was painful. It was awful. So what I don't want to happen is we get complacent, we get busy, and we don't chase and continue to do our job, which is what? Lead generate. Exactly. So it basically starts, and I just keep saying it again over and over and over. Reread this if you haven't, because you're going to read it again and go, wow, that's a totally great point, and it is completely different this market, and I missed that point because I was in a down market, so I was looking at it from another angle. First tactic, where do we always start with in Keller Williams education? Mindset, right? So you've got to, number one, make sure your mindset, I would tell you, put your track shoes on. Put your running shoes on, get prepared, that now is the time to make hay, make money, do some amazing lead generation, and really, really build your business. What you guys have done for the last little bit, the last, 4 years, is you have held, I would say almost everyone in this room has held their market share that they had before the shift, which is really an increase, right? Because if the market's declining, your market share technically should decline with it. Does that make sense? So if you've held your market share, you've actually grown it. Okay? So you held on to it. When the market starts turning up, guess what you get a chance to do now? Increase it. So, but it starts with your head. Number one, we become our choices. We know that. So you've got 2 shifts to make. Number one is a mental shift. I love these questions that it gives us to ask ourselves. We have to ask ourselves, oh wait, sorry, I'm skipping ahead of myself. I don't want to go there. Remember, no matter what, whether it's an upshifted market or a downshifted market, who's in control of that? None of us. Can you control the market? No. I can't control it, you can't control it. It is, if we could have fixed the last 4 years. But we can't. So we know that. We tell our sellers that all the time, right? The market determines the value of your home. The market tells you your home should be listed at, not me, Jennifer Toomer, realtor, the market. You want to get it off of yourself. So we know that you can't control the market, right? So what you can control is every single step that you take and what you do. And so you've got to get real clear about that. I get so tired of hearing people waste precious, precious energy lamenting the market or the situations. If you can't control it, move on. Get into what you can control. What's the action steps that you can take? So here's the 3 questions you ask yourself in a mental shift when you're facing any challenges. Did I cause this? Anybody heard these from me before? Can I control it? Can I cure it? If the answer is no, done. Move on. What's next? Because otherwise you're just giving energy away to something that is going to sap it from you and give you nothing back. And oh, by the way, when you're giving energy away, guess what you're doing? You're taking it away from something really positive. Does that make sense? It's like a water displacement theory. If you're moving it, if you put a rock in, it's moving the water. If you take your energy and put it somewhere else, it's taking it from something that could be really great. Okay, so make a mental shift. You can control your outlook and your response to the market. I said this before, I think 2 weeks ago. I actually hear people complaining about this market. People in the valley would kill to be sitting right here and selling in Anchorage. Am I wrong?
No, we have our average market time is around 100 days, 100 to 120 days, all of that advertising, time, effort, everything else. Our normal deal we close is 50% of your deal. So we're working twice as long for half the commission. So it doesn't take long to figure it out where the money's at.
Is that why you moved around?
Well, I mean,
A number of years ago. The idea was to retire. That's why I worked.
I mean, I don't know if you guys really dissected the business. You guys know I took over Wayne's business, and when I analyzed his numbers, you can't believe how accurate that is. Not only that, but the amount of deals and the amount of expired listings and just, I mean, talk about pushing a boulder uphill. I mean, you're wondering why, and you're looking at it, and it's, you've got to have, I mean, if you want to do 20 million out there, you've got to have 30, 40 plus listings.
absolutely.
You got to have it. I mean, a lot of it's vacant land, a lot of it's houses around 200,000, and they're going to sit for 120 days.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we got a high-class problem.
Yeah. When we were talking in the class yesterday, when I was teaching in the Valley, we were kind of comparing, because Anchorage and Wasilla are connected, right? There's just a time lag. Eventually, our prices will push. They're starting to, right? I mean, they're starting to. But if this holds, if the trend holds that it is now, our prices will increase. Then what happens to the Valley? People determine it's worth it to go out.
In Alaska